Hudson Whitmore raised his crystal tumbler to the Manhattan skyline like a king surveying his new empire. He had no idea the empire was already gone. Behind him, laughter filled the penthouse. His wife, Mary Ann, lounged on the ivory sectional. Daughter Lila scrolled listings on her phone. And Claire, his eldest, sharp as a blade, stood at the marble island, tapping a thick leather folder with one blood-red nail. Power of attorney, asset transfers, account routing. And on top, in her elegant handwriting, Tuesday switch. 3 days, Claire said, voice dripping satisfaction. Then Ethan disappears from our lives. Quietly, cleanly, permanently. Mary Ann laughed first, then Hudson, then Lila, that sharp, cruel little laugh. To the useful idiot, Hudson toasted. Claire smiled into her champagne. The perfect one. None of them noticed the man standing motionless just outside the terrace doors. Ethan Vale had heard every word. He didn't flinch. He didn't rage. He simply smiled. A small, cold, dangerous smile. Before I tell you how the man his own wife called a useful idiot walked away with every single thing they tried to steal from him, the penthouse, the accounts, the reputation, the future, welcome to Empire Downfall. If you love watching arrogant elites get destroyed by the people they underestimated, do me a favor right now. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This one is going to hurt them in the best way possible. Let's dive in. 3 weeks earlier, Ethan Vale still looked exactly like the man they all believed he was. Calm, polished, harmless. He moved through their world in quiet cashmere and tailored coats, speaking only when necessary, typing in perfect silence on his laptop. The glow of the screen painted his face in cool blue, while the Whitmores mistook his stillness for weakness. They were wrong. Ethan didn't just protect billionaires' money. He knew exactly how to take it away. He had built his entire career on one truth. The architecture of power is never emotional. It's procedural. And no one understood procedures better than he did. Claire had married him for exactly that reason. She thought she was marrying a tool. What she actually married was a loaded gun with the safety already off. The insults started small, then grew, then became tradition. At family dinners, Hudson would ask complex financial questions only to dismiss Ethan's answers with a condescending chuckle. Mary Ann called him stable. Lila openly called him manageable. And Claire? Claire perfected the art of elegant humiliation. "You're adorable when you think you're one of the strategy people," she once said, patting his wrist in front of everyone. The table exploded with laughter. Ethan said nothing. He never did, because every single time they laughed, he stored it, not in anger, in data. Then came the Tuesday that broke everything. A single encrypted file from a trusted contact. Hidden camera footage from the new penthouse. 4 voices, 4 faces, 4 knives. Claire explaining in calm detail how they would forge documents, drain accounts, reassign the property, and leave Ethan with nothing. Hudson raising his glass. To Tuesday. The sound of their laughter hit Ethan like ice water. He watched the footage 3 times. Then he closed the laptop and began to work. In absolute silence, he mirrored their entire network, planted undetectable audio, recovered every deleted draft, redirected every asset through smart contracts they would never see, prepared legal packets so airtight even Claire's own firm couldn't defend her. 2 nights of surgical precision. When he finished, Ethan leaned back and stared at the glowing screens. They thought they were erasing him. Instead, they had built their own cage and handed him the only key. The next few days, Ethan played the perfect husband. He sent flowers, booked their favorite wine, talked excitedly about their future in the new penthouse. Claire practically purred with greed. She had no idea the floor was already gone. Tuesday night arrived like a guillotine dressed in candlelight. The Whitmores gathered around the long dining table, glowing with victory. Claire in cream silk, Hudson with his usual arrogance, Marianne and Lila barely hiding their smiles. Ethan arrived with a rare bottle of Bordeaux and an easy smile. Halfway through dinner, Claire raised her glass. To new beginnings. Ethan set down his fork. Funny, he said quietly. I was thinking the same thing. He placed 4 thick envelopes on the table, one for each of them. The temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. Claire opened hers first. Her perfect face cracked in real time. Confusion. Disbelief. Then raw fear. Hudson ripped his open. His hand started shaking. Marianne whispered, "Oh my God." Lila began to cry. Eviction orders, asset freezes, fraud complaints, ethics package already delivered to Claire's firm. Full video evidence. Then Ethan tapped his phone. The massive wall screen lit up. Their own voices filled the penthouse. He's basically a useful idiot. To Tuesday, laughter. Claire shot to her feet. You recorded us? Ethan looked at her with terrifying calm. No, you recorded yourselves. I just made sure the evidence would outlive your lies. He stood, buttoned his jacket, and looked at the 4 people who once believed they owned him. By sunset tomorrow, you're all out of this penthouse. The accounts are locked. The transfers are dead. Your firm has everything, Claire. Every word. Every plan. Every betrayal. He picked up his glass one last time. True strength isn't loud revenge. He set it down gently. It's quiet preparation that turns your arrogance into your obituary. Then he walked out, leaving them drowning in candlelight and the sound of their own destruction. By morning, the Whitmore empire was in ruins. Claire was on administrative leave. Hudson was hiring emergency counsel. The penthouse was sealed. Their names were poison. And Ethan? Ethan walked the streets of Manhattan at dawn, hands in his coat pockets, watching the city wake up. No victory lap, no social media post, just silence. Because the best revenge doesn't need applause. It only needs finality. Here's the lesson they never saw coming. Never mistake silence for weakness. The quietest person in the room is often the one who already owns it. Arrogance always assumes it has more time than it does. But patience? Patience doesn't rush. It simply waits. Until the trap is perfect. Then it closes. If you stayed until the end, you already know the golden rule. Never underestimate the person everyone else calls harmless. Drop a like if this one hit hard. Subscribe for more stories where the underdog doesn't just win, he rewrites the entire game. Tell me in the comments, have you ever stayed silent and watched someone destroy themselves?